Hey everybody, this is Julian from Raw Physique again. All right, today I'm going to be shooting another install video. This is going to be an install on an alternator for my F150. If you watched my starter install video, oh, why is there smoke? Why is there smoke? Where is it coming from? Smoke's coming from somewhere. I smell burning of some sort. After I installed my starter, everything started smoking in the engine bay of the truck, and then my belt broke. I couldn't figure out what the hell happened, and it was the alternator. At least the alternator froze up because it's so damn rusty. So anyway, here's the second part to that video, which is an alternator install with the belt. Okay, so here is the new alternator right here. This spins nice and freely, unlike the rusty one on the truck. And here is the belt for the install also, because the original belt broke and that's what was smoking. So here's the belt, here's the alternator. Here is the truck, and let me show you where the alternator is located. Okay, so here is the engine bay of the truck, and the alternator is, let me see if I can zoom in, this thing right here. In the middle of the screen, there's one of the bolts right there. So let me show you what it looks like underneath the truck. Okay, not really sure how well you could see. Oh, that looks like it works pretty good. So the alternator is, see that rusty thing right in the middle? That spins the alternator. The alternator is behind it. And then right here is part of the tensioner. I think that's what you use to tension the belt, like if you're removing or replacing the belt. Not 100% sure how to do it, but I'll figure it out. Don't know what size bolts to use, but I'll let you guys know. And this is a farther back view of it. Oh, there's my LED light strips, and you can see all the rust. Extremely rusty. So anyway, I'm gonna put some protective goggles on because it's so rusty. I get shit in my eyes constantly. Let me grab the goggles, and then I'll see what size sockets I'll need. Got the goggles. Let me show you first steps here. First thing, disconnect the negative and positive terminals for the battery so you don't shock the hell out of yourself. Unless you're into that type of thing, you know, no judgment here. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that tensioner off. The tensioner is this guy right here, and this bolt to the left where my finger is blocking it. So this bolt right here. You take that off, and then it's easier to access the rear bolt for the alternator. God, that's so rusty. The alternator right there to the center bottom. What I'm gonna do is set up the camera so you can see what it looks like while I'm trying to do it from below. Okay, cool. Well, that was kind of easy. Here's the tensioner right here. It looks like it actually just locks in position. You don't actually adjust the tension. There's a little like indentation right here that sticks out, and it just kind of locks in there. Anyway, this size bolt is a 13 millimeter. That's how you get this guy off. All right, a little better view of the alternator. There it is. There's a bolt to the left, which you can see, and then that bolt right up there. That is a rusty alternator. Okay, awesome. So far, so good. I'm gonna take that alternator off, and I'll let you know what size bolt to use. Okay, one bolt down, one to go. Okay, so there is a bolt, positive wire bolt right there. I'm gonna try to get that guy off. This it is extremely difficult to remove right there. It seems like it's locked up on something, but all right, I'm gonna try to remove that and see what happens. Okay, so if you can see that, that was a 13 millimeter right there, the bolt sticking out. I'm putting my finger right near it. That was a 13 millimeter. I'm gonna undo that. And then there's a little cord behind there, if you could see it. You just pinch and pull that, I believe. So let's see what happens. Okay, that cable right there in the middle, I'm having an issue taking that guy off. So here, I'm gonna go at it, try to get it off. Okay, so that was a little tight getting it out. And then you're right around your water hoses, which is a little sketchy. So be careful not to puncture those bad boys. Otherwise, you'll be doing your own do-it-yourself video. Okay, let me show you the old and new alternator. All right, here are these guys side by side. Here's the old one. See, this is why I needed to replace it. This will not spin. See that? Nice and easy, completely locked. Super rusty, if you could see in there. Okay, so let me show you this, because this will be helpful. The plug that I was having such a difficult time getting undone goes inside of here. So trying to pinch it off, it was not working trying to pinch this guy. So what I did was I took just a little bit like this and I shoved it in here and then popped this off, trying to be careful not to sever the wires, but something simple like a tiny little flathead, put it in there, pop it off. Difficult to reach, but I was not strong enough to get this off, or it was just completely seized. So anyway, that hot wire that connects to here, even though the battery is disconnected, just for a heads up, it was sparking when it was touching metal inside of the truck. So I don't know what that's about, but yeah, the cable connected to this was sitting there sparking whenever it touched the metal. So anyway, I'm gonna carefully fit this guy in there and then hook everything up, and we'll see what's up after that. I'll show you how to put this on again and then put the belt on. Cool. Just as a quick note, make sure that little rubber cover is on there good and that bolt's on there tight so it doesn't wiggle loose or stuff get in there and kind of deteriorate the connection, because that will mess with your alternator output. All right, I'm gonna get up under here and screw this guy back together. All right, got the alternator on there. Be careful not to cross thread a bolt. I cross threaded one, so instead of taking 30 seconds to screw a bolt in, it literally took about an hour. So do not do that. Make sure they go in there nice and smooth. I'm about to add the tensioner pulley back on with the belt at the same time and set up the camera so you can see what it looks like. And just for a little tip, with the belt, make sure these little lines, right, go on these lines. So they go on like this. That's how the belt goes. And then it'll run around this and the rest of this stuff. But yeah, make sure the belt lines go on there like that. And back to putting this guy on. Okay, so I'll try to post up a picture of what it's supposed to look like in a book, but here you go. This is kind of how I routed it, but it's not quite on yet. So it goes around the alternator, and it goes around that, comes back, it goes on the tensioner, which it's not on now. Then it runs from the tensioner to that guy, and then that completes the circle all the way down back to the black pulley on the alternator. I'm sure the picture will make it more clear. What an idiot. Let me show you how to put the belt on the tensioner, because I actually never did this before, and this is how you do it. So I got a bolt, or I got this ratchet on the tensioner right here. The base to the tensioner is screwed in, and then I have this, you know, circulating around the pulley system appropriately, and on the alternator as well. So watch this. Ugh. When you put pressure on it, if you can see, it moves. It moves a little bit. So I'm going to put the camera back up top. You use this to loosen the pressure on whatever type of spring is inside of the tensioner, and then you could slide this on the tensioner right there. Okay, moment of truth. Got the belt on there. Did you see I had to use my foot to hold the tensioner pulley up while I put the belt on, because I couldn't do it with one hand and use the other. So hopefully you didn't skip leg day. I got videos for that on the fitness side of this channel. All right, let's see what happens. Just kidding, have to hook up the terminals. Oh God. I think that goes on first. And then this guy. Boop. Okay, hooked up and tightened. Now let's hit it. First off, let me show you what I used. Goggles, flashlight, a 15 mil, a 13 mil, and a 15 mil wrench, because that water line is right in the way to where I couldn't fit one of these on. So I had to use this in order to take off that upper bolt for the alternator. But yeah, this is all I used, and something like this, super needed. Okay, let's see if it starts. All right. Oh God. Oh my God. It started. It's going. I don't see any smoke this time. I haven't had my truck for like a month and a half. Check it out. Oh, now I need to change the oil again, but I made a video on how to do that, so hey. But all right, thank God. Hell yeah, I got the truck back. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And that's until my next video. That's it for today. Peace. Giant worm. Look how big that is. This thing is huge.